So here's one called Mold in My Bed. And couples tend to like this. My wife woke up one day and said that she was never going to do that again. Fuck my day. There was no warning either. It happened one day. I've wondered if this has happened to other men. Mold in their bed. It came in my marriage like smoke. Angels sat cross-legged in the closet of my wife's mind, waiting for a chance to announce their parole. I wanted those angels back in their jail cells and her lips back on my skin. How do I remain faithful after a declaration like that? Never. How do I fulfill my sexual desire? My neck won't bend that far. I need spit on my stick so I can crash into walls without getting hurt. The men really find that charming. So married couples get a kick out of that. And, you know, that kind of came out as a result of, so men, I'm warning you, this is a warning for men. Oftentimes, what a woman will do for you as your girlfriend, she won't do as your wife. So as your girlfriend, she feels like oral sex is the way to separate her from the other women that you might be involved with. But when she marries you, she says, I'm not doing that nasty stuff no more. And then you're left with lusting after the very thing she used to get you. And now that she has you, mold is in your bed. Isn't that neat? And that has to do with, I'm also, well, believe it or not, I'm also a licensed minister. So a lot of that comes from marriage counseling and conferences and what have you, because a lot of women have been molested and they have been abused, and when they get married, they feel marriage is a safe place and a safe haven, and all of a sudden they become prudish and men are left dealing with issues that they did not know that their wives had. That's where that came from. My eyes always sagged against the floor. I never wanted to look him in the face. I was scared he would see the fear in me. I took the blows to my head and his fist against my face. We were all scared, hiding from the war in his mind, holding our breath when he came home, each one of us becoming invisible in our own way. One behind the door when he opened it, another under the bed, and me closed up in the dresser drawer. There was no arrest made that day the police came, but I was sure some kind of crime was being committed against me and my sisters living in that house. I don't know what time, how am I doing time?
It is it 9:26? 9:26? We get out at 9:50, so 25 minutes, 24 minutes, 24.
Queen Mother is another childhood friend of mine, and this poem is dedicated to her. I'll read it first and then talk about it. It's called Queen Mother. My mother's madness set all of us, but I hoped she'd never stand up, walk around, or even talk at me. Teddy, my younger brother, was the first to know Queen Mother's insanity. He ran around Sugar Hill naked. Julia cussed aloud during the Reverend's sermons, and the ushers escorted her out of the sanctuary most Sundays. Michael stood at an open bus door, one foot wedged between the door and the other on the ground, and he refused to get on or let anyone off. One by one, Queen Mother stood up in my city. I prayed she continued to sit quietly in me. I knew she was there. She tapped her feet, and sometimes she stomped hard. I got married and had 2 children and watched them grow up. I thought I was safe, thought the daily dose of sanity pills had finally put Queen Mother asleep, rocking in my soul. One day, instead of tapping or even stomping, which I'd handled before, Queen Mother stood up in me straight like a vertical rod, burning the strength from my spine. She took 1 step, then 2 more. She was headed toward my life. I was frightened by her movement and afraid for me and my family. I brought a gun, and when I was alone, I shot her right in the head. Did you get that poem, what happened? What happened? Mm-hmm. No. The speaker was the door. What happened? Yes.
I just feel like the mother was insane and each one of the kids was getting, like, showing some kind of insanity. So she was afraid she had it throughout the whole time that she wouldn't get it. And then it kind of showed its head toward the end.
And what did she do?
She killed herself.
That's exactly what happened. Yes. So this is a true story. The names are not true. And this is a true story of my neighbors. I live next door to a family with about 6 children, 3 girls, 3 boys. And their mother was insane, in and out of mental hospitals all of my life and all of theirs primarily. And as they got older, the insanity or the disease that her mother had, each one of the children had a dose of it. And Queen Mother, her name is actually Queen. I called her Queen because she was the oldest daughter, and she probably had lived the most normal life of her siblings until one day. And because she saw it happening in each one of her siblings, she went and got help. And she started, taking prescribed medication to calm whatever the mental illness that was running through her family. But it became so overwhelming that the medication was no longer working, and she felt threatened by that mental illness, and she killed herself. I think she probably was like 40-something years old when she killed herself. So that one is based on a true story. I'm going to stop there. And I want to talk about. So with that, with And the Moon Never Moves, this is a dark collection. Gloomy. It's a collection about a lot of things that people don't talk about. People push under the rug. So it's a very dark book. I don't think there's anything pretty much in it that is light. Maybe the end, toward the end or the last poem, you get a little bit hope that life somehow gets better. So that's what I wrote. I wrote it as a very dark thing. I'm working on a collection now called Broken Shadows, and I'm using that collection to deal with the idea that darkness doesn't last always.